Good afternoon, friends. This is a roundtable, directors roundtable. And the topic of this roundtable is little different from the main theme. And it has been done with intentions, good intentions. The topic is developing a framework for 21st century Quality Framework for 21st Century Indian Business School. And I'm very happy that directors of some of the leading autonomous, self-finance business schools are part of this roundtable. I know all of them, and I hope that their point of view, their opinion, their observations will make this roundtable enriching experience. But before that, I would like to, on behalf of all the participants, academicians, B schools, directors, faculty colleagues, I've been interacting with them since yesterday, and all of us are expressing our gratitude to the host institution, that is IIM Bangalore, for providing this space and all facilities and all support to this forum. We have been going to many other places in last 8-9 years, but the support, overwhelming support, which has been given to MBA Universe by IIM Bangalore, it is definitely very commendable. And I can say only one thing, that if we have to imagine the quality framework for B schools, future quality framework for Indian B schools, I think this framework is existing here. So big applause once again for IIM Bangalore. Now, I would like to devote few minutes to just present the context of this roundtable, and thereafter, one by one, my fellow directors will take 8 to 10 minutes time to present their point of view, their observations. I am not going to present my personal views, just I am trying to raise some issues, some challenges, some questions on the topic of this roundtable, and that is developing quality framework for the 21st century business schools in India. So I am very specific, and I assume that we are talking in the Indian context, and for last 2 days, we have been debating and discussing and listening a lot of global best practices, particularly just before this session, the way the whole issue of the theme related to the theme of this conference presented by Professor Narayanan and Professor Jose from IIM Bangalore, it was very, very thought-provoking and giving us a lot of insights that what Indian B schools can do in coming year. I also would like to say that we have a framework in this roundtable, around 10 years, what can we do? So first of all, I would like to raise this issue that we have talked about fourth industrial revolution, which is knocking our door, already arrived in India too. It requires education 4.0 as well as business education 4.0. Hence, the quality framework for the 21st century business education must incorporate future changes likely to occur during next decade. How should B schools strengthen IT frame infrastructure for proper application of business education tools like AI, IoT, machine learning, deep learning, digital learning, as has been said by many speakers, including AICT chairman. Second issue is that the world economy is becoming more and more experience economy. In the 21st century B schools, what should be the concept of quality? I think we have to focus on this phenomena, that is the shift of the manufacturing economy to the experience economy. And the concept of quality in India for B schools, there is a requirement of shift from standardization for consistent, replicable outcomes to customization for individual delight at each touch point. Then how to measure the quality and how to focus on measuring quality. we have to shift from the management of business education. We have been assuming it's a service. Now there is a requirement that we have to shift toward delivering engaging, transformative, and valued experiences. All institutions nowadays focusing primarily on customer satisfaction. This is also a very major trend in the world economy. Management institutions in India need to soul search what the equivalent be and also focus on who their stakeholders, major and minor, are. The major segment surely would be students. Are we prepared to improve our students' engagement and empowerment and make them participants in all major decision-making forums? Then there is a lot of talk about emphasizing liberal arts and humanities more and more in management education. Indian B schools now have to take a call to what extent the liberal arts and humanities can be made part of curriculum in Indian B schools. Another issue is the governance model. In private sector B schools, there has been some problems related to making governance model healthy and participative. So quality framework in 21st century will also require that let there be a robust governance model. How can we do away with owners-driven model? Because we have large number of institutions being run under this model and owners are deciding everything. We are also concerned about the globalization and internationalization. The business houses in India, leading business houses like Tata's, Mahindra's, Birla's, they have globalized, internationalized their operations. But what about the B schools? Except leading 50 B schools, the large number of institutions are not internationalized. What can we do? I think we can connect very well with Asian B schools. And I remember that for 2 years, MBAUniverse has organized Asian Management Conclave only for connecting Indian B schools with Asian B schools. It could not be continued due to some problems, but it was a good experiment. Now I am taking the issue of the very controversial issue, that is the regulatory framework of business schools. We have been governed by AICTE, most of the self-finance autonomous B schools, and affiliated B schools offering MBA program, they are being governed by UGC. And we have faced a lot of difficulty during last decade. And the issues were related to autonomy, and particularly in 2010, December 2010, the autonomy of PGDM institutions was withdrawn by the AICTE, and the 545 B schools were under shock, root shock, that how should they work under the rigid control of the university framework in our country. Ultimately, Supreme Court has intervened and our autonomy has been restored, and we are thankful to the current chairman of AICTE who has taken a sympathetic view of our problems and resolved all the issues, and EPSI and other organizations, they have gone for out-of-court settlement with the regulatory body. But question is that who should define quality of business education in our country? Should it be left only to the regulatory bodies and accreditation bodies, or it should be a collaborative process between regulatory bodies and academicians, between recruiters and industry associations? So here our stand is that it should be a collaborative process, but we can debate it further. Secondly, quality has its own cost, and nothing is free in this world. And the quality is directly related to the fee of an academic program. This is a worldwide phenomenon, but in India, because of political pressures, the private institutions are asked to present their accounts to the government, and they are asked that they should charge the fees decided by government, state government in many states, particularly MBA programs. And this is causing a lot of havoc with business education, because if government is deciding the fees, then quality cannot be improved by the institutions which are running MBA programs. So quality should be determined by institutions themselves as per the Supreme Court order of 15 years back in TMA case, or it should be left to the state governments or any other state agencies. So these are some of the issues, challenges, and lastly, I would like to talk about role of faculty in improving the quality and presenting a 21st century quality framework. Faculty plays a significant role in quality improvement in business education, and those institutions which have gone for international accreditation or national accreditation, they know very well that without faculty's total involvement, the quality cannot be improved or quality cannot be robust. So I would like to raise this issue that the role of faculty should also shift from merely teaching and doing administrative roles towards being a change agent or being an active stakeholder. So with these preliminary remarks, which I have tried to create the context of this roundtable, I would like to request my fellow directors, fellow panelists, that they are welcome to present their views frankly and in a forthright manner in 8 to 10 minutes time. And when you exceed 10 minutes time, I will just indicate to you, and thereafter we would like to give some time to our fellow participants and delegates to interact with this panel, because we have to chart out the future in a collective manner, and there is no panacea or ready-made formula to build quality. Whatever quality in top 50 institutions in private sector or 20 and 10, 12 IMs, we are saying that is the outcome of the efforts made by the stakeholders and faculty particularly during the last 50 years. So for building the quality for 21st century, at least commitment required from all stakeholders for next 10 years. Thank you. Let me invite the first speaker, Professor Himadri Das, Director IMI New Delhi. Professor Himadri. My mistake. He has been in IMI, so please, Professor Himadri Das.